Currently, I'm pacing towards 300,000 a month in ad spend, which is really good, relatively speaking, for me. And I'm finally hitting the goals that I set in the media buyer series months ago. And I kind of want to address what's been happening in the months in between because I didn't give an update. I wasn't doing as well in those months. And this is almost like a redemption video where after months of just being in the trenches, I finally fixed it and am at a point where I'm really confident in the results that we're getting. And I feel like, okay, I want to just share those results, wrap it up, share my learnings, and then just probably quit with the whole media buyer series because, to be fair, I'm not really a YouTuber and I'm not going to pretend to be with the way that I've been uploading these months or basically not uploading. So I just want to wrap this up, and it's kind of my redemption. So in the months leading up to this, the monthly spend has been quite low. So I might pull up an image to show you guys, but I have it in front of me right now. So I'll just share some of the months and the performance. So for example, in July, 30,000 in spend and a 1.4 ROAS. August, 30,000 in spend and a 1.4 ROAS. September, 15,000 in spend and a 1.4 ROAS. October, 26,000 in spend, 1.3 ROAS. November, 36,000 in spend and 1.3 ROAS. And then December, finally some good results, 84,000 in spend and a 1.47 ROAS. So that's kind of the results that I've been generating the last couple of months. And the main thing why I'm heading to 300,000 in ad spend this month is going to be habits, basically. And it's a very simple habit. It's just doing the work. So I'll break it down. So I have some coaches who are really good. Name is Lee and Israel. They're really solid, and I've had a call with them. And basically, one of the feedback that they gave me was like, okay, I said I want to get to 10K a day in ad spend as fast as possible. How do I get there? And we basically broke it down, and we were like, okay, well, how much time do you spend on creating ads? Well, maybe an hour here, an hour there, but it wasn't really consistent. So we basically dialed it down and said, okay, well, maybe just create ads for as long as you can in a day and integrate that as a habit that you can repeat. So it's not like doing too much where you stop the habit, but it's like a good amount, but you can continue doing it for a longer period, right? That's a habit, basically. So first half hour of the day, I did research on Reddit, found hooks, leads, stories that I could use for the ads. And then the next hour upon that, I would just be writing ads. And then the next hour on top of that, I would have a small break in between and then write more. So that would be like 2.5 hours of solid, really solid copywriting, no distractions, no phones, no chats, no nothing. And that really gave me an insane amount of ads to test. And that's been really pivotal for me in the ad account. So if I were to say, okay, what has gotten you from kind of spending like 30K a month at like a poor return on ad spend to going to 300,000 a month base and a higher return on ad spend, it would just be creating a shit ton of ads and spending more time on actually writing ads without any distractions and just doing and writing ads that I felt were good. Like not really looking at what others are doing, but really just looking at my own ad account, looking at my own stats, and looking at the stories and editorials that I find attractive and fun to write and interesting, and I believe in that can work really well. So that has like given me a backlog of like 300 plus ads that I had not tested. Like I just literally had a backlog of 300 ads. Um, that's like how much ads I could write in a day. Like if you really do that, you could probably write like 10, 20, 30 creatives in a day or ads in a day. Unique ones. So that's been really, really pivotal for me. So that would be the first thing that got me to 300K at a higher return on ad spend. Then secondly, what I changed and what I did differently would have to be the Andromeda update. So I have been struggling quite a bit this year, just figuring out why my ads weren't working. And I'd say there has been a structural issue with my campaigns that I finally resolved after months of doing it wrong. So what I did in the past, I would do an ABO setup where it was like one ad set and then one creative. So for example, one video or one image in one ad set. And I would just test it with like a really small ABO budget and then test them side by side and just test them at a low budget, kill them one by one if I needed to, try scaling the ones that worked, and then put them in a scaling campaign. Now, that just didn't work for me, and I really didn't understand why that wasn't working for me, but everything that I tested had just gone to shit, basically. So normally, if I would have, like, I checked an old ad account, and my win rate on new ads would maybe be like between around 7% or 10. And then on the new ad account with the new Andromeda update, I was checking that ad account and it had like a 3% win rate. So there was one ad account that was old data. Before the Andromeda update, I would have a 7% win rate. New ad account with Andromeda, I would have like a 3% win rate. So I was like, what's going wrong here? Like, I think I can write a good ad. Like, I did that in the past. Like, why? Like, people haven't changed. Why aren't these ads working as well as they did in the past? And that's when I started taking Andromeda more serious, when I really looked at the data and was like, damn, my ads are still good. And they're as good, if not better, than they were in the past. So maybe it's like a structural thing. And then I started looking at other media buyers on the internet and what they were doing, and they were taking Andromeda very seriously. And the things that I changed have been really pivotal. I didn't come up with them myself, but I got them from YouTube, from other media buyers. So do your homework. It has really paid off for me, and I will tell you what worked for me. So first of all, ditch the ABO testing one-to-one ad set where it's like one ad set, one creative. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing ABO. It might work for others. It wasn't working for me in this specific ad account, so I ditched that entirely. And the way that I'm doing it right now is one campaign, one ad set, and then, for example, 30 ads within that ad set. And the ad set has a budget where it can exit the learning phase, which is really important. So for me, I start my campaigns right now at 300 a day budget, one campaign, one ad set, and then 30 ads or so. It could be anywhere between like 15 ads all the way up to 40 ads. And then I launch it, and I get pretty quick data in terms of will this work or will this not work. If I see on the first day or the second day that it's averaging like a 1.3 ROAS, I'm actually quite happy. And then what I see with the Andromeda update is if you launch something, usually with Andromeda, if it gets out of the learning phase, it'll start to improve in performance. So the return on ad spend might look like this in the beginning, right? The first couple of days, it will go up and down, and you'll get purchase, zero purchase, purchase, zero purchase. It'll be confusing. But then once you get out of the learning phase, it'll just be like this. It'll be so consistent. That's what I really love about this new Andromeda update. For me personally, it's been really consistent. And that's why I went from 30K ad spend to 300K pace. Is because everything that now works, it just works. And it works for months. So that's really nice because that stacks the ad spend really consistently. And then what I also do with the Andromeda update, which I found really, really important as well, is adding different creative types, targeting towards different stages of the consumer journey. So you have your bottom of funnel ads, your middle of funnel ads, and your top of funnel ads. And you combine them all in every new campaign and new ad set that you launch. Because Facebook now likes to sequence creatives. So it might show a top of funnel ad first, and then a middle of funnel ad, and then a bottom of funnel ad to that person. And then over time, that person will convert. So I don't turn off ads individually anymore, just because I found that Facebook might spend a lot on an unprofitable ad, but because of that sequencing that it can do, another ad is actually getting a higher return on ad spend. That's your bottom of funnel ad. The top of funnel ad gets them interested. Your bottom of funnel ad gets them converted. So your top of funnel ad might look unprofitable, and your bottom of funnel ad looks super profitable, but I don't touch either. Like, the only thing that I touch is the ad budget, which I scale with 20% if I see that in the last 48 hours it's been really good, and the last 7 days as well. Then I just scale it with 20%, sorry. And then if I see that an ad is underperforming or the campaign is not profitable, I just turn that campaign off. If I see an ad in that campaign that's working really well, but somehow Facebook is messing up the performance because it's overspending on others or whatever, I might turn that campaign off. Like, I will turn that campaign off because that campaign is unprofitable. But what I will do then next is, if I think that ad is promising, I will look at it, I will dissect it, I will think about why that ad is working, and then I'll take it into a new campaign, adjust it so it may do better, and then I'll also improve on the other ads as well, like the new ads. So that's been really pivotal with Andromeda. So get out of the learning phase and add bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, and top of funnel ads. And then one last thing I'll say about scaling with Andromeda, the way that I like to do it. I just create batches of ads. So for example, I will create 15 to 40 ads in a new campaign, and then I will just launch that campaign, and then I'll just do that over and over and over again. So I'll just create new ads, new ads, new ads, new ads, and new campaigns, new campaigns, new campaigns, new campaigns. If I see that that campaign is profitable, I just scale the budget. If it doesn't work, I just kill it. And that's the way that I scale. So I scale by adding new campaigns that have only unique ads, and I scale by scaling the budget. I don't duplicate campaigns. I don't put winners together or whatever. I don't do that. It's just not the way that I do things. I just create batches of creatives in new campaigns, and then if that campaign works, I scale the budget, and I just keep adding on new creatives. So like, creative volume is the main thing for me in scaling right now. Then another thing that's been allowing me to go towards that 300K pacing is using advertorials. So I hadn't really cracked advertorials before. It's still not the main driver, I would say, but it is getting to like 30-40% of ad spend, which is really good, especially on the bottom of funnel, middle of funnel audiences. Those advertorials do really well. For me, what's working is, for example, just doing like top 5 XXX, and then it leads to an advertorial. I just bash all the other options besides my own product, and that, I don't know, it's super simple, but it works really, really well. That's just a small thing. And then I'd say this one is really, really big as well. That's the last point that's getting me to 300K in spend in January, and that's going to be the spend divide. So if you look at how people divide their spend, and this is also from my coach Lee Thompson. I knew this, but it's different when you actually apply this. Like, knowing something isn't the same as applying it or using it. So we looked at my ad account. It was like, okay, well, how much do you spend on on testing ads. I was like, well, yeah, I'm testing a lot. So uh, probably like the budget divide between my scaling campaigns, like my workhorses and profitable campaigns, and my testing campaigns was totally skewed. So for example, I would have like two profitable. This is in the beginning when I was like messing around with the ad account and I was messing with Andromeda and things weren't really working for me. I would probably have one or two profitable campaigns, and then I would be testing really, really hard in another testing campaign. And that would cause the divide in ad spend to probably be 50-50, where like 50% of ad spend was going to profitable campaigns and 50% was going to testing campaigns. Well, as we all know, testing campaigns are usually unprofitable, like they're your testing ground. They're not really supposed to be profitable. Only a small percentage will be winning ads, right? That you then scale. But this really caused the efficiency of the ad account to go down. So what he told me was basically, well, you want all of your spend or most of your spend to go to the profitable campaigns. So you need to adjust that. So I sat down and I looked at the ad account. I was like, damn, I'm not doing that. Like if I look at every ad dollar that I have, I'm probably putting one ad dollar in profitable campaigns and one ad dollar in unprofitable campaigns. Like no shit, at the end of the month, it's not really efficient because I'm not putting enough ad dollars in the profitable campaigns. Super simple concept, like every media buyer knows this. Like, why am I even discussing this? But I bet if you look at your own ad account, or a lot of people will have too much spend going to their testing campaigns or unprofitable campaigns. So what I did is I took that really seriously and really applied it. So right now, if I'm testing campaigns, I probably have like one campaign that's testing or two, depending on how much daily spend I have. And all the other campaigns are profitable, proven campaigns. So this is why I said I had a backlog of 300 creatives. Like the reason I wasn't testing those 300 creatives and I actually had a backlog is because I wanted to adhere to the rule of 80% of ad spend going to my profitable campaigns. So let's say you spend 5,000 a day on ads and you only want 20% of your testing budget to go to testing campaigns, then you can only test for $1,000 a day. And with $1,000 a day, you can't test 300 ads. So that's why I had like a backlog of ads when I was creating that many ads and I didn't have that much spend. Right now, I'm getting to like over 10,000 a day in ad spend. So I actually cleared up that backlog of ads that I wanted to test because right now my spend is getting so high that I can test more and I can run through those creatives faster. So that's why I don't have a backlog anymore of creatives that I needed to test. So yeah, that's just my redemption video. I just wanted to come back after months of being in the trenches, things not working as media buyers will experience from time to time, and finally show you guys that after months of work, it is possible, and we are getting to 10K, or we are spending like 10K a day right now, and we will probably hit like 300K spend in January at a higher return on ad spend than we've been doing at 30K in ad spend. All thanks to these 4 points. So let me just repeat them for you. First of all, habit, like eat that frog is important to me. So I start with writing the first thing I do in the morning. So 30 minutes of research, 1 hour of writing, small break, another hour of writing. That's been pivotal for me. Then secondly, adhere to Andromeda preferences. So get out of the learning phase fast. Use lots of creatives in your ad set. So I do anywhere between 15 and 30, and then mix bottom of funnel ads, middle of funnel ads, and top of funnel ads together so that Facebook can sequence them in a way where it's profitable. And I don't personally shut off ads in the ad set. I just let it run, and I scale the campaign budget. If it's profitable, that's the way that I scale. If it's not profitable, I just turn off the campaign after a couple of days. Thirdly, which has been really good for me on bottom of funnel and middle of funnel, using advertorials, super simple ones. So top 5 X X X, that works really well. That works really well for me. And then lastly, which has made a really big difference, especially in the beginning, just finding high efficiency would just be keeping your testing budget to a maximum of 20%. Like if you don't have any profitable campaigns, that's going to be really hard, because that's going to be impossible, because all your testing, like all your budget is going to be testing. But if you have stuff that works, make sure that you spend more on the stuff that works than the stuff that doesn't. So use that 80-20 rule, and then you'll see a high ROAS, and you can scale, and you'll be able to test more and more and more. So that's kind of my redemption video, and pacing towards 300K a month in spend at a higher ROAS than I did at 30K a month where I was struggling. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and who knows, maybe see you next time. Cheers.